Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Parenting Simulator. Now, this is a simulation based on decisions you make to determine how good of a parent you will be. Now, unfortunately, I was recording and somewhere my recording got lost, so I'm going to catch everybody up. I am Joe Let's Plays, basically, and we have a kid called Joshua. Joshua is up to the stage of where they're eating carrots. And anyways, we are to the point of trying to feed them, our son, vegetables. And we are to the. I will be reading this as a story. So, if you want to follow along, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share them around, and hit the little notification bell so you do not miss when I upload. And also, based on decisions, you can see our stats. As of so, we sacrificed 51%. We have $125 for family savings. Joshua is 1-year-old son. Structure is 60%. Closeness is 54. Modern is 52. So, get here, Grubhub. So I'm going to read the article where it starts with you, where it says, you like to think of yourself as a decent actor, so you take great pride in not only being able to suppress your gag reflex as the nutrient-rich slugs drips down your throat, but force a weak smile for your child's benefit. Joshua takes the wrong message from his performance, though, and takes the gob of orange goo from his tray and hands it to you. Dada, eat. Not much change over the next few days, with your victories still few and the loss quite graphic in their aftermath. You can't help but wonder if Jackson Pollock got his inspiration from watching someone trying to feed toddler pured prunes. The breakthrough, or at least a breakthrough, comes when you least expect it while both of you are watching a couple of nursery rhyme videos online. An ad pops up for a local restaurant chain. Joshua points to the screen and says, yummy. It's safe to say whatever food you expected your child to grant such a rare honorific it wasn't going to be crispy fried tofu. The ad is for a popular Chinese restaurant over by the open air mall. Donk this way. Chinese isn't a common menu item at your house. But after a reaction like that, you wonder if it may be time to call in an order. Okay, let's see. The only thing better than Dutch fried something is having crab ragoon and wonton soup. I don't know what that is. We're gonna go with the noodles. You've never been overly fond of Chinese. It seems somehow both too dense and too insubstantial at the same time. Still, in order to expand Joshua's culinary horizons, you're willing to fall on this teriyaki covert sword. You look up the menu online, trying to find the least offensive option. They probably have good chicken wings, right? The next day, you get Joshua after work and swing by the Chinese place to pick up your carry-out order. His eyes pop at the ostentatious decorations around the restaurant. You have to restrain him from trying to pick up a fragile-looking dragon sculpture on the floor. A woman at the front desk raises an eyebrow as they bring out your order of crispy fried tofu, crab ragoon, lo mein noodles, and lemon pepper chicken wings or french fries. But just because you wanted Joshua to have the full Chinese experience doesn't mean you wish to inflict the same upon yourself. Once you're back home, you have a hard time getting both Joshua and the food inside without dropping something, but you manage. You arrive, everything's on the table, and put Joshua in his high chair. He squeals with delight when you open up the container containing the tofu, looking just like it did in the advertisement. The moment of truth is here. Next part. It may be absurd, but you are actually a trifle anxious to see what happens next. He lifts up a chunk of tofu, ponders it, and looks poised to toss it onto the floor for a single heart-stopping moment, but he doesn't. Instead, your child, pickiest of all the picky eaters, gleefully chomps the first bite of tofu, and a second and a third, and before is a little upset that it's run out. Joshua shows similar excitement for the crab ragoon, though he seems less impressed with lo mein noodles as a food than a plaything. Worms, he shouts as he wiggles one at you while you cringe in mock horror. It is the most fun both of you had at a dinner table in a long time. It also marks a suitable shift in how Joshua's approach meal times. He still gives you a big raspberry whenever you try to feed him, say, prune raspberries, but new foods are not immediately held in disdain. and after plenty of experimentation, his reputation of accepting dishes is almost downright varied in scope. Okay? Antonio is a parent we met at a, guess they call it a mommy's gathering, even though I'm a dad, like where the parents take their kids to socialize. Anyway, we're gonna go. Antonio's infectious laugh echoes from the phone speaker. The party was a blast. I know Tony had fun. Tony is Antonio's son. Seeing how he properly came home and crashed this afternoon. If it gets Tony a 2-hour nap, perhaps Joshua should have a party next week too. Hey. Let's see. Let's do the first one. You can almost see Antonio nodding on the other end of the line. True enough. Perhaps we'll scratch the party redo after all. I'll talk to you later, Joe. Have a good night. Hope your little monster sleeps through it. The call disconnects and you get ready for bed yourself. It was quite indeed a party, and you know, part of the reason Joshua enjoyed it was his little buddy Tony being there. Everything's better when you have someone to talk to about it, especially parenting. Year 2. Why did you teach him to talk exactly? Okay. Joshua has been put down for the night, which means you finally get a few minutes to yourself. So naturally, you celebrate being able to finally hear your own thoughts while going online and ingesting the torment of thoughts from others on social media. After 10 minutes or so of casually scrolling through political screeds, inexplicable photos of the food, and the usual crop of stealthy advertisement posts, you come across a video posted by a friend from high school. She has a child who looks to be the same age as Joshua, and her little one apparently saw a baby panda at the zoo for the first time today and flipped out, practically screaming, "Mama, it's a tiny bear. Look at the tiny bear," and such 2-year-old remarks. The experimental effect of a cute child rattling about a cute panda has resulted in a fair bit of attention. Your friend only has a few dozen followers, yet the post has been shared several hundred times. You've never seen someone you know getting that much attention with anything they said or did online, especially yourself. What is your normal policy regarding what you post online? I'll just do the second one. Yeah. After all, your child will be online himself one day, though not too soon, hopefully, and you don't want him to be actively mortified at everything Dad does share for the whole world to see. Your trickle of cutie content still ensures you have a fair amount of followers who crave all things cute and cuddly. Whew. A closer look shows that your former acquaintance's sudden surge in online popularity is no accident. Her video is tied to a contest post from WeView, a news outlet that specializes in a feel-good stories of the clickbait variety. You go to the parent post and are greeted with a giant headline in very aggressive font. Show us what you got. The top 10 clips with the most votes from our WeViewers Choice contest will win $2,500 each and be a featured video of the day. There's tons of other prizes for participating. So get out there and share your story. Well, you consider whether it would be worth to make a submission. It sounds like a trifle obnoxious, but the potential rewards cannot be denied. Okay. Yeah, I agree to do that. You and Joshua are relatively secure, but if the car suddenly crapped out, then that might not remain true. Even a chance at $2,500 has to be seriously considered. Over the next couple of days, your mind drifts back to the contest several times. You finally have an epiphany on Friday night regarding how to handle it. Let's do cutest video. You ultimately decide not to bring any animals home for now. One critter in the house that runs amongst and doesn't use a toilet is enough, but it always warms your heart watching the clip you shot during a pet store visit where Joshua is carefully petting one kitten while another sleeps in his lap. It seems likely that it would warm some other hearts too. You post your video and encourage those following you on various apps and websites to vote it up and share the link around. Slowly but surely, your video begins to push up the ranks, tempted by the possibility of actually getting a chance at big money. You keep pushing hard on every available platform for people to vote. You go from top 500 to top 100 to top 50. Unfortunately, you seem to hit a wall after cracking the top 50, either due to not having enough people talking you up or your video just not being distinct enough. By the time the contest win, you receive thousands of votes, but still remain outside the top 25 and nowhere near the 10 big money makers. The company did promise lots of rewards for other participants. However, as you are stewing about your defeat, you receive an email from WeView and a welcome surprise. Apparently, as a top 50 clip, your video will still be featured on the site in a smaller capacity, and you receive $100 worth of credit at a WeView web store. Looks like everyone in your life is getting a t-shirt or coffee mug with that clumsy panda on it for Christmas. Your widespread exposure does come at a cost. Several people rather post nasty comments about you exploiting a helpless child just to sell a chance to win attention and a little bit of money. It stings a bit, but there's some truth to these bars, but you wish you could live such a life of privilege that $2,000 qualified just as being a little money. Joshua, oblivious to all the hullabaloo around the contest, merely says "ifunny" when watching the clip online himself. Next. When Joshua was little, pretty much anything was a perfectly acceptable toy. A rattle, a ball, a box, your shoes, even his own toes. Now that your child has reached the lofty age of 2, however, he has become much more discriminating, and lately there's been a running theme throughout his requests for new playthings. Superheroes. Da. Look at superhero stuff. It's something you hear frequently, whether it's at the store or just when Joshua sees toy ads when you're browsing online. When Joshua lacks in grammatical accuracy, he certainly makes up for it in single-minded determination. You brought your little one a couple of simple playsets relative to the new flavor of the month, and he's already spent quite a bit of time with them, which led to a memorable moment when Joshua lost his Captain Cosmos figure. Sufficient to say, things got very real very fast when you were forced to resolve the crisis. Yeah, we just buy a replacement. His loud brawling sobs on the way to the store about the beloved toy being gone forever. Stand and start contest to the smiles and cheerful chatter from the backseat on the way home after a brand new playset has been purchased. Whoever said you can't buy happiness obviously never had children. That's kind of true. Joshua is currently playing with the toy at the center of the maelstrom of drama, and you can't help but feel a little twinge of annoyance every time you look at it now. Morning, noon, and night, Joshua struggles to care about anything not related to superheroes. Those are the books he has to hear in the morning, the t-shirts he wears at night, and the toys you trip over multiple times a day. In fact, the whole obsession with superheroes has you wondering if you need to intervene. Let's get him interested in something else. Your attempts to goal Joshua into varying his playtime are not successful. Superheroes are still remain the topic of conversation at every meal, and the toys seem to multiply until they inhabit every shelf, table, and toilet seat within Joshua's reach. It would appear there's no easy way out. He's only 2, so I feel like letting him go with the superhero obsession might be something to grow out when he gets older. You can't pretend the constant talk about superheroes gets any less grating, but to see him make Joshua smile does make it worthwhile. Whew. Diapers. Once it was cute. A bonding experience as you snapped a fresh Pampers and placed around Joshua's tiny rump while dawn leaked through the window. But that was a very long time ago. Now, the only thing bigger than the cost per box of the disposable swallowings is the poops your growing offspring deposit into them. You can tell it's getting close to the time for the ultimate coming-of-age experience, graduating to the big boy potty. You remark as such to your friend Antonio on the phone shortly after Joshua has gone to bed. I'm telling you, it was a level 7 code of brown tonight. I might be violating the Geneva Convention just by throwing the diaper in the trash can outside. He chuckles. Yeah, this job literally stinks sometimes. Tony getting out of diapers was honestly a more exciting experience than his actual conception. There's an audible grumble from his wife in the background. You can't tell if this is in protest or agreement. It's hard not to envy your friend. Despite Tony only being 3 months older than Joshua, he's been using the toilet for almost half a year now. One day Tony was in diapers, a couple weeks later he goes in underpants. Of course a rug had also been replaced in front of their hall, but it seems like a small price to pay at this point. What do you want to ask Antonio about the toilet training process? You actually want to train, how do you get him to do it? Antonio laughs. Like so many problems in life, this problem was solved by a liberal application of candy. The bargaining power of chocolate cannot be underestimated. You hope this answer helps with a mystery that has plagued you for some time. Your own practice potty has lain fallow ever since Joshua received it at his second birthday party. No amount of coaxing has gotten him to sit on it for longer than a second or two, and nowadays the only thing touching it is a small brown spider spinning a web inside the plastic bowl. Once the conversation runs its natural course, you hang up and start there at a dusky simulated toilet on your bathroom rug, thinking long and hard your next plan attack on the issue. No more Mr. Dada. Josh was going to sound this accursed thing that something drops. Let's try the bribing tactic. Large bag of chocolate peanut butter cups, $5. Potentially never changing a diaper again in your life. It's natural born life, priceless. When you ask Joshua not to just sit on the toilet but remain there until something happens, you encounter a fair amount of resistance, but the moment that crinkly bag of sugary goodness appears, his resolve crumbles. Granted, it still takes a bit of conjuring to convince him to remain there throughout, but eventually rewarded with a dirty practice toilet and a smiling chocolate-smeared face beaming up at you. You're not entirely sure what would happen when the candies run out. However, you are now left with the choice of what to do with the remaining diapers and wife. I honestly would hang on to them just in case. Everything is stored in the corner of Joshua's closet. On the rare times you notice him, he waves and says, "Hello, baby pants." Eventually, the diapers, rather than a practice potty, start gathering dust and cobwebs. You're both pretty okay with that. There was a time, not so long ago, when you had no choice but to guess what Joshua was thinking. He could point, grunt, and certainly he could cry. But that was much help as you received during that endless game of charades. Now Joshua is talking so much and so well, the issue is less in finding out what he wants and more about how the off switch for those times when the constant chatter threatens your last strand of sanity. But as you watch your new 3-year-old sleeping in his highly prized big kid bed, you consider that it's hard to be dealing with the chatterbox. It's great to learn about what he's thinking and feeling. From toddler to terror. Whew. Not every memorable instinct in your child's life involves big, important events. Sometimes the things that stick with you the longest are the everyday moments, notably only for their perfectly ordinary nature. One time occurs on a lazy Sunday afternoon when Joshua is there. He's fed, rested, and full of energy. But for once, there's nowhere to go and nothing urgent to accomplish. The day still stretches out before you. What possibilities you can do? No TV, toys. Let's just go outside. Going outside's a good thing to do. You can't afford anything huge and elaborate, but you have a simple swing set in the yard, and it's more than enough to keep Joshua occupied, especially when combined with games of chase, hide and seek, and Simon Says, led by Dada, and you stay up for over an hour before coming inside, sweaty and ready to crash for a bit. The day still stretches on. Let's do some chores. A life of working and solo parenting has not been exactly left you a great deal of free time for home maintenance or cleaning. You always feel like you're playing catch up. If there's 3 hours a day, you're fully intended for at least some of them to be spent prettying up the place. Joshua though protests, but not too much. The both of you have some fun chatting while you vacuum the floor and he follows behind with his pretend vacuum. It feels good to accomplish something meaningful with the day, even if it sacrifices a bit of playtime. Let's ask him what he wants to do now. Let's play superheroes, and so you do. And even if you've already done so dozens of times over the last year or so, Joshua still enjoys it just like the first time. Both of you play to his heart's content till Joshua stands up, stretches, and says, "What do we do now?" The day draws to a close. What do you do the last bit of remaining time? Yeah, I'm learning to make dinner. I want waffles, is the reply you get. And frankly, it sounds pretty good to you two after a long day of playing. He does make a bit of mess with the batter, but he clearly enjoys being part of the process. The meal is sticky and sweet, and by the end of it could be said for Joshua. Of course, all days eventually end, no matter how much you may wish they did. And by the time your reveals are done, Joshua is so tired you scoop him up and carry him to his bed on your shoulder like you did when he was a baby. You tuck him into the covers, and before you go, you ask Joshua, what was your favorite thing today? He yawns loudly, rollovers, and mumble, all. You smile, shut off lights, and he falls asleep. Ooh. Lately, it seems that preschool has been coming up more and more often in your life. Tony is doing it. Several other kids in the library group has also started enrolling in various academics in your area. The unintended peer pressure as you wonder if it's time for Joshua to take preschool plunge. Actually, I'm more of a technological person, so I'm gonna go with the apps. Sure, they blur the line between education and plain old video games, but they keep your child attention like nobody's business. Screens are tapped, cartoon characters dance, words are spelled, and it's a bit fun for learning for all involved. On the other hand, all that vegging out has been a bit more detrimental for Joshua's attention span. It's harder to get him interested in books with so many electronic entertainments just a touch away. I don't read personally. I just usually use ebooks, I haven't read a book since 8th grade. I don't read. Joshua even brings up the subject of schooling himself one day. As you're returning from home from a library playtime, I go to school, Dada. Whew, too much reading. You're taking a bit off guard as you never mentioned it before. I don't really know, sweetheart. Do you want to go to school? A little head shakes back and forth infinitely. No, no, no. Personally, I wouldn't call my son sweetheart. No. I like home better. Nothing more said about the matter, but it rattles around your mind for the rest of the day. After Joshua was asleep for the night, you decide to do some research about potential school options. Alright, everybody. I'm going to end this off here before I lose my voice. So if you want to see more, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload, and also share the video around. With that being said, I shall see you all in the next video.